The Chicago Bears are desperately searching for a savior in the trenches because relying solely on the upcoming draft to fix this pass rush is a gamble that could cost them the entire season. I am hearing from sources deep inside Halas Hall that the front office is no longer willing to wait for a rookie to develop, while the rest of the defense is ready to win now. A massive move is brewing involving a former first overall pick who dominated for Dallas last year, and this could be the missing piece for Matt Eberflus right now. Jadeveon Clowney is the name currently lighting up the internal discussions at the Chicago Bears headquarters as the team realizes the edge rusher position remains a glaring hole after a quiet free agency period so far. Reports from Alex Kennedy of Pro Football and Sports Network have officially pegged Chicago as a prime landing spot for the veteran who actually led the Dallas Cowboys in sacks last season. Despite the Cowboys moving toward a 3-4 defensive scheme that they felt did not fit his style, Clowney is adamant that he can dominate in any system, and the Bears are currently listening very closely to those claims. He finished last season ranked 15th in pass rush win rate according to Pro Football Focus, proving that even in year 13, he still possesses the explosive first step and veteran savvy to wreck an offensive game plan. The coaching staff in Chicago is looking for a veteran who can provide immediate production, because they know that putting the entire weight of the pass rush on a rookie draft pick or an unproven player is a recipe for disaster in the NFC North. Clowney racked up 8.5 sacks and 40 pressures in just 13 games last year, which are numbers that would have instantly made him the second most productive defender on the Bears roster. The fit seems perfect on paper because Matt Eberflus runs a scheme that prioritizes athletic ends who can set the edge in the run game while providing consistent heat on the quarterback. However, there is a catch that has some members of the front office hesitant to pull the trigger just yet, and it involves a player already on the roster whose health is the ultimate wild card for the upcoming season. If this specific player cannot return to form, the urgency to sign Clowney will shift from a luxury to an absolute necessity before training camp even begins. You need to understand the risk the Bears are currently weighing behind closed doors regarding their internal depth, and how Clowney would actually fit into the daily rotation alongside a player who is currently struggling just to get back onto the practice field after a devastating lower body injury that changed his entire career path recently. Do you think the Bears should pull the trigger on Clowney right now or wait for the draft? This decision will define our defense for the next 12 months, so I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Please subscribe and hit that like button to help us keep bringing you these exclusive insider updates directly from the front office. Dayo Odeyingbo is the massive question mark hanging over the Chicago Bears defensive line room as the team prepares for the draft and the next wave of free agency. While Odeyingbo has shown flashes of being a high-level contributor in the past, his current status is incredibly uncertain after he struggled to find consistency before tearing his Achilles during the 2025 campaign. Internal sources suggest that the Bears are worried about relying too heavily on Dayo to be the primary support for Montez Sweat, because the recovery from an Achilles injury is notoriously difficult for explosive athletes of his size. This is exactly where the Jadeveon Clowney interest intensifies, because Clowney is the perfect insurance policy who can rotate with Odeyingbo and Austin Booker to keep everyone fresh and effective. Clowney actually pushed back on the narrative that he is scheme-dependent, stating publicly that there is not a single scheme he cannot play in or dominate within. For a Bears team that needs versatility, Clowney's ability to move along the line and play both the 4-3 and various sub-packages makes him an incredibly attractive option for Eric Washington's defensive line rotation. The front office knows that even if they draft an edge rusher in the first few rounds later this month, that rookie will likely need a year to adjust to the speed of the NFL. By bringing in a veteran like Clowney on a one-year deal, they effectively bridge the gap and ensure that the defense does not take a step back if Odeyingbo needs more time to find his rhythm. The analytics also support this move heavily, as Clowney would have ranked second on the entire Bears team in sacks last year, despite missing 4 full games of action. His presence would theoretically free up Montez Sweat to see fewer double teams, creating a snowball effect that could turn this unit into a top 10 defense overnight. But the real reason this deal is gaining momentum in the back offices of Halas Hall goes far beyond just the sack totals or the pressure rates that we see on the stat sheet every Sunday afternoon. It is about the specific message Ryan Poles wants to send to the rest of the locker room about the window of contention for this current roster and the level of veteran leadership they require. The potential signing of Jadeveon Clowney represents a significant shift in how Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears front office view their current competitive timeline because it proves they are no longer in a slow rebuild phase. By targeting a veteran who is entering year 13 of his career, the Bears are signaling to the league that they believe they have the foundational pieces in place to win now, and they are simply filling the final gaps. The impact on the locker room would be massive as Clowney brings a pedigree as a former #1 overall pick, who has seen every possible offensive look the NFL can throw at a defender. From a financial perspective, this move makes almost too much sense because Clowney is expected to sign a one-year deal, which carries zero long-term risk for the Bears' future salary cap flexibility. It allows the team to be aggressive in the draft without the desperation of having to reach for a specific position out of necessity. If the Bears can secure Clowney on a team-friendly veteran contract, they suddenly have a defensive line rotation that includes Sweat, Clowney, Odeyingbo, and a high-upside rookie, which is exactly the kind of depth needed to survive a grueling 17-game schedule. The future of the franchise depends on protecting the development of their young quarterback, and the best way to do that is by having a defense that can get off the field and create short porch opportunities for the offense. We are looking at a scenario where the Bears could realistically transform from a middle-of-the-pack defense into a unit that strikes fear into the rest of the division. The internal discussions are focused on whether Clowney's injury history is too much of a liability, but the consensus among scouts I have spoken with is that the reward far outweighs the risk at this stage of the offseason. If they pass on Clowney and the rookie they draft fails to produce immediately, the pressure on the coaching staff will become unbearable by mid-October. This is a move that secures the floor of the defense while significantly raising the ceiling of what this team can accomplish in the postseason. Every indication from my sources suggests that the Bears are doing their due diligence and checking in on Clowney's physical status as we speak. This is the kind of savvy, under-the-radar move that separates the playoff contenders from the teams that are just happy to be relevant in November. Ultimately, the pursuit of Jadeveon Clowney is about much more than just a single player or a specific sack total because it defines the new era of Chicago Bears football that we are all witnessing. This move would signify that the days of settling for mediocrity or hoping for potential to turn into production are officially over under this current leadership. The front office is recognizing that the window for success in the NFL is notoriously short, and they are taking proactive steps to ensure they do not waste a single moment of this current defensive core's prime years. If Clowney joins this roster, the dynamic of the NFC North changes instantly because suddenly the Bears have a veteran pass rush that can match up with any offensive line in the league. For the fans who have endured years of inconsistent play on the edges, this would be a dream come true and a sign that the organization is finally acting like a big market powerhouse again. The meaning of this signing would resonate throughout the city as a commitment to excellence and a refusal to accept anything less than a dominant defensive performance every single week. It puts every other player on notice that the standard has been raised, and that competition for snaps will be fierce from the first day of camp until the final whistle of the season. We are standing at a crossroads where one signature could be the difference between another rebuilding year and a deep run into the playoffs. Do you believe Clowney is the missing link that finally completes this defense, or are you worried that his injury history is a ticking time bomb that we should avoid at all costs? The debate is raging inside Halas Hall, and now I want to see it continue right here with all of you, because your voice is what makes this community the best in football. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a single update as this situation develops over the next few days. We are going to be all over this story as more details emerge from our sources within the team, and you do not want to be the last to know when the news finally breaks. Leave a like if you want to see Clowney in a Bears uniform, and let us know your boldest prediction for the upcoming season in the comments below. This is going to be an off-season for the ages, and we are just getting started with the moves that will define this franchise for years to come. Bear down and stay tuned for the next update coming your way very soon.